अगर आपका जीएस फाउंडेशन का कोर्स अप्रैल के महीने तक चल रहा है और आखिरी के महीनों में 2 से 3 क्लासेस पैरेलली चल रही है, तो there's a very logical question ना that how you're going to write the pre of that year.
Most foundation program mainly focus prelims examination. Rather, good foundation program should focus both prelims and mains examination in the form of coverage of the static, dynamic and applied part.
We finish the course at least 100 days before the pre of that year.
आज आपको ये भी याद रखना है कि जो फैंटास्मागोरिया जो सोशल मीडिया का मायाजाल है उससे भी आपको बचना है ताकि आपका प्रिपरेशन सही दिशा में चल सके।
Let's do a foundation that works for you.
Clear direction.
टाइमली डिलीवरी।
Strong foundation.
Hello guys, my name is Dinesh Vishnoi and I have secured All India rank 265 in this year's UPSC Civil Services examination, and I belong to Jalore district of Rajasthan. I have done my basic education from my village primary school and thereafter 10th 12th graduation from Mumbai itself, and in this video I will touch upon my brief journey in UPSC. I have given 5 attempts in UPSC, 3 mains, in which 3 mains 2020, 2022 and 2024. So in this video I will talk about how I was able to score consistently above 410 in general studies in 2022 and in 2024 with help of some smart strategies and smart work without giving too much of time in it, because as my most of time was devoted towards anthropology in both mains, so I was able to devote less time to GS in this period. Briefly, in my attachments with general studies is that I have done 1 year foundation course with Vajiram and Ravi for general studies, and I have also done 1 year full year test series from Vision IAS and one from Forum IAS MGP. These are few things which I have done from various coachings for general studies specifically. Other than that, so while talking about smart work, few things about prelims is that in pre you will have to be have certain bare minimum things which you will have to do. Those bare minimum things are doing static part of syllabus well in a manner that you are able to answer around 80-90% question accurately in static part. For example, in polity, in economy, in history, in geography, in those parts you will have to answer questions with 80-90% accurately, and that is the bare minimum thing which you will have to do in prelims. After that, what you can do is that for other questions, do not run behind sources for those questions. You will have to stick to one source for every part. For current affairs also, stick to one source, and the best guiding light for prelims is PYQs. Try to analyze some trends in PYQ. For example, in science and tech, there is a trend that in 1 year they will ask a very simple question about a technology. For example, there was a question on CRISPR-Cas9. After that, in the next year, they will ask a detailed question on that technology, and in the next year, they will ask a more detailed question in that technology. So, whenever you are analyzing your prelims preparation, try to look for the things which are repetitive or the themes which are repetitive in nature. In that way, very smartly you will be able to gauge what things you will have to study and what things you will have to avoid. Do not read newspapers for 2-3 hours. That is not what UPSC requires. You will have to just be a general observant person. In geography, normally there are various phenomena. So if you are generally aware about your surrounding, then you will be able to answer very few simple questions. For example, western disturbance. Before coming western disturbance, you will observe that in Delhi or Punjab areas, the night temperatures will rise up. So if you are an observant person, you will observe these trends and you will be able to link all the geographical phenomena in your surrounding to studies, and this will help you very smartly to not revise again and again. Other than that, for prelims, PYQs, try to analyze some fundas which is there. For example, UPSC will always try to trick you in conceptual questions. They will give 2 answers which are correct. Out of that, one will be above and one will be placed below. So what students will do is that they will tick above option, that will also be correct, but what they are asking, which is most appropriate. So they will give a D option, which is below, which will be more appropriate. So do not be in a hurry in pre. Try to analyze these simple things before going into exam, and this will help you a lot. In similar way, you will have to learn about elimination trick. All these things you will have to do smartly, because if you are going to do in a hard way and try to learn every question, then it is not possible for 5 years, 7 years clearing prelims itself. So try to be smart about it. Any person will not know more than 30-35 questions in prelims for shortly. They will, for the rest of question, they will have to depend on logical reasoning or analytical power of your mind. So try to develop that. For the people who are writing mains, for general studies, for each paper I will try to give some advice on how I was able to score well by doing some work which could be a little bit of smartness. For example, in GS1, besides your notes for history, geography, society, what I used to do is that this is a static part of your syllabus, so it is not possible to revise each and everything. Or if you take books and then start revising, then it will take 15 days. So what I used to do is go into the market and buy test series solutions for that, for GS1 specifically. For example, in this year you can, for GS1 you can take from Forum IS or Vajiram. Both have good solutions, and analyze 1 year full solutions, read before the mains. In that way you will be able to get into a mindset which is about question answer, right? Question answer format. So that will help you in mains. Other than that, what you can do is that take help from your optional or other things which are there. In GS2, where many things are there which is repetitive in GS1, take help from that and try to utilize whatever you are reading in many ways which is possible. So in that way your remembering load will be less. Also for GS1, for any GS also, try to analyze PYQs of last 5-7 years, because many questions will be directly or indirectly repetitive in mains as well from PYQs. The questions will be like the Chola architecture question which was there this year. It was there in previous year's paper also. So these kind of questions will be repetitive. So try to develop a habit of analyzing PYQs as well. Try to learn from PYQ solutions as well. And one thing which you can do across 4 papers or for anthropology before mains is that read a question, make a mental framework in 5 about that question, mental framework, or write few 4-5 lines and then compare it with the solution. Now while comparing, you do not have to think about the matter which is there or the content which is there, but you will have to think about dimensions which you are missing. For example, if a question is on painting and you are just focusing on ancient painting or medieval painting, only one part of the question is answered. You will have to focus on ancient, medieval, modern, every part of the painting which is there. So in that way, if you are analyzing yourself that you are missing some key dimensions, then you are being penalized. Otherwise, it is not the matter that you are writing one particular example and other person is writing other example. That is not relevant. What is relevant is how multidimensionally you are able to write your answer. So that is one thing which is there. Other than that, in GS2 for polity part, what you can do smartly is that try to think in terms of constitutional angle, legal angle, executive, institutional, judiciary, institutional like institutions like election commission, etc. So while writing any questions, try to bring their role in the question. So it will be a more specific answer. While writing a GS2 answer, do not go for historical or GS3 taking help from GS3. You can tell help from the subheads of GS2 itself. A polity question you can answer in that way. For example, if a question is about constitutionalism, then write about institutions, how they help maintaining constitutionalism in India. Institutions like Election Commission of India, how judiciary is helping maintaining institution. For example, separation of power through various cases. So in that way, you will be able to write a multidimensional answer, a broad answer, and a good answer without having to read too much about itself, read too much things for it. Similarly, for governance, there are limited questions. Try to analyze them. Very limited syllabus is there. Try to prepare notes on beforehand and write those questions well, because they are rewarding, more rewarding in nature. What people usually do is that they focus excessively on polity in paper 2 and neglect all other part. Polity is just about 8 questions. Governance is 3 questions, 4 questions, governance and social justice, and 4 questions for IR. So prepare these topics well. IR, you will have to analyze some 7-8 topics. Take help from coaching institutions. They will give questions. So those questions you can identify topics which are important for this year, and then read those topics in detail. So in that way you will be able to smartly deal with the whole syllabus without having to go for too much of notes or too much of material for every subject. Similarly, for GS3, internal security, 4 questions, very easy questions and very important and very short syllabus. So try to write them well, and also while attempting paper, attempt 11th to 20th question before, then 1st to 10th question, because in that way you will be able to complete your question, not only paper but also if you are missing some, if you are not able to adequately manage time, for example last 5-7 minutes you have 2 questions, then 10 markers you can write somewhat in 7-8 minutes, but 15 markers it is not possible to write 2 questions in 7-8 minutes. So in that way also you will be able to smartly handle the time management as well. So these are few things. Other than that, in GS3, utilize keywords from economy. For example, capital, how much capital output ratio is there for a particular thing. So instead of writing what return it is giving, write capital output. In that way, you are convincing the examiner that I know things. I am able to write it in a way. So that is there. For environment, just be aware of your surrounding. Write examples from your surrounding. If you are staying in Delhi, then write about Delhi floods. If you are staying in Mumbai, write about Mumbai floods. And also various tragedies which happen every year. So write those examples in disaster management. It will be a more human aspect to your answer. In ethics, the smart thing which I did, for quotations, people look for quotations like in conclusion or in introduction. What I did was collected quotations from UPSC paper itself. From 2013 to 2023, there were 10 UPSC papers and each paper had 3 quotations. Write those each quotations in 2 or 3 pages and utilize them in your ethics paper, in your essay paper, or everywhere which where possible. So these are most authentic source, because UPSC itself has provided these quotations. So you do not have to look for other ways where you can find quotations. So in this way you will be able to stick to the syllabus of the exam which is there. And for case studies ethics, what I used to do is that I used to look for some 20-30 PYQ case studies and some 20-30 case studies on current affairs of that year. So I used to go by reading 50-60 case studies before going to the exam, and that would give me an edge, because it is very easy to write then, because you will have a question answer framework in your mind that will provide you help. Try to write stakeholders wherever possible. If a question is if you are not able to fill whole 4 pages, then write stakeholders. These are few smart things which you can do in ethics as well. For essay, try to write in a speech wise format on any topic. For example, I attempted a question on why doubter is a true man of science. So for that, who is a doubter? Doubter is a logical person. So write who is a doubter, why he is the only true man of science. So in that way you will be able to build some 3-4 macro questions, and on those macro questions you can write your micro dimensions, taking help from levels approach, individual, organizational, international level, etc., and the approach of pestle approach in that micro argument for example itself. argument you will have to develop beforehand. Try to bring practice of developing argumentative essay. This will help you, because in this year also we have seen that essay marking was pretty much from 60 to 130. So that range is quite wide. To try to remain above a certain line, for example around 100. So in that way it will not punish you in a way that you are out of the list just because of one paper. Thank you.